good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Extinguishing sin in general and gossip in particular. Don't gossip, just grind. One of the things that I have learned or that I have discerned through understanding gossip or its destructiveness is that if a person takes time to gossip about someone, we'll say for the sake of analyzing this, party one. So if party one or person one goes to party two or person two with gossip about the person that's not there, I guess we could say party three. So if party one goes to party two about party three or person three, the motive that party one makes to twist the story or exaggerate a story, which oftentimes that's what it is, to go to party two or person two to discuss something outside of talking to party three about it. For one thing, that is already promoting fear or hesitancy, or I don't know if I should use those words, fear or hesitancy, but it's promoting, uh, trying to think of the right word for it. Just being afraid or being weak. I guess that's the word that I could use. Being weak, too weak to go to a person, or not knowing how to communicate, being weak in those skills, of not being able to uh, go to party three to talk about whatever it is that is bothering party one, is weak. And in that way, that makes it bad, if not wrong, in terms of being sinful. I mean, the word sin is itself has been exaggerated. Small word, large, large conveyance, I guess. But for party one to go to party two to discuss something that party one can't discuss with party three is one thing that is already destructive within that relationship or friendship, if it may be. There may be some illusion to that. But also, just to, I guess, to add insult to injury, party one doesn't know while he or she is discussing with party two about party three, if party two may so happen to be going through the same thing that party three is going through. What damage is being caused by the friendship, if it may be, between party one and party two. I hope this makes sense what I'm saying, because I've been trying to think about how to communicate this, because it is confusing, but it is very acute in terms of human relationships, particularly friendships, because really all human relationships are friendships in essence. I mean, if it doesn't matter if they're family based or outside of that, basically, essentially, all relationships are friendships. And I'm going to use that topic for another day. But just getting back to what I'm saying about, you know, going into the drive to gossip, and what most people, many of us don't see is that you don't know if the second person or the person that you're speaking with about a third person that is not there may be the same type of person that party three or person three is, in terms of identity or in terms of what they may have went through, or this story or the facts may be more uh, dramatic or real, more real than what the third person that is not there in conversation has went through or is, if that's making sense. So when we stir, the pot of conversing with the second person, you don't may not even fully know that second person to talk about the third person. And then to add to that, we don't even know if the first person is actually going through or is the way that the third person is. So just all the way around, it's just gossip is essentially destructive. It's destructive to the person that initiates it. It's destructive to the person that is listening to it, because that it undermines trust between those two parties or persons. And then for the person that is not there to hear what is being discussed about him or her, whether it is factual or whether it has been exaggerated or hyperbolic. So just all the way around, one of the best things to do is to spend one's time grinding instead of gossiping, because at least grinding gets you to build from within. It is your creative uh, outlet from the inner core or your inner life. And it's productive and it's constructive. And it's not wasting time, because even if, as Felicia Rashad once said, that, you could do a lot of things and people won't even pay attention to it, and a lot of times people do, especially empaths, do things in society to help society, and it goes uh, not noticed. Rather, it is the foolishness that is being tended to, which speaks volumes about who we are as humans. So, I mean, if it benefits a person to sit around and talk about somebody else, it also uh, I mean, I guess a person would have to be bored or have nothing to do with their time or their energy than to get a high off of speaking about somebody else that's not in the and not in their presence. It's very weak. It's lacking in communication skills, because that first person doesn't know how to, if it's something that they're angry about or that they're sad about, they don't know how to communicate that with themselves. They don't know how to discern and break apart their own feelings or emotions. So they need someone to scapegoat that information to, and that's the second party. But you don't know if the second party is experiencing the same thing as the third party. And it's just destructive all the way around. The Bible has many verses that speak of gossip, of course, and many benevolently spiritual books about advancing one's inner energy uh, prohibits uh, oneself to engage in it. It's just not productive. What good does it do? And not even on the micro level in terms of common or commoner relationships, but even at the levels that seem to be professional, as even with media. I reckon that some social influencers or uh, news anchors or reporters probably would not have much to report on if they did not spend time engaging in, well, what is essentially gossip and what they just call is news or giving information. How is it good news? How is it news that anybody can use to just sit around and vent about someone else's life unless it's something that is going to help someone else? And then it also, like I said before, it gets people away from themselves where they don't want to uh, go into their shadow work with whatever it is that they need to work on in this lifetime. So I've been on both sides of I'm not innocent. I've been on both sides of the picture of the spear, I guess you could say. And it's just not good when you engage in it, because it's just essentially divisive. It's not it doesn't unite people for the greater cause on the planet, which should be to heal the planet, whether it's at a macro level or at a micro level. So grind in lieu of gossip. Find something to do. Appreciate your time that the benevolent Creator has given you to do something with your time other than just engaging in something that is not at best not going to benefit you at all, unless somehow it makes you feel good for, maybe a few minutes or hours or whatever. But how long is that gonna last? And at worst, it's not helping anybody. We need a change in the way that we socialize, even in terms of the number of people that we engage with. Because even though we have been told that we are humans and that we do have a need to be social, how much of that ideology has not increased our advancement on a social level among ourselves? Let us extinguish sin in general and gossip in particular by finding something to do that is productive and constructive of our time so that we can grow collectively and that we can self-actualize, obviously, independently. Have a good day.